Blessed be the reading of your word, Heavenly Father. We at Genesis chapter 30. Let's eat. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. So, back in the day for women to really show their value, to have a lot of children was important. All right. Verse 2. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from you the fruit of your womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her, and Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. Now he already got children by Leah, right? Remember Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, right? So now from this other woman, our forefather got Dan by Bilhah. All right, verse 7. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestling I have wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop comes, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray you, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that you hast taken my husband? And wouldest you take away my son's mandrakes also? So you see how Leah is claiming that Rachel took her husband. When remember, he served Laban for Rachel for 7 years first. So this is remember I told you when we read that in the last chapter that it was going to be a problem between it was all about how Laban ran it. So now these sisters got an issue. And the issue, is just, jealousy. Because the brother, Jacob loved Rachel. But the Most High had a plan. He had to get his nation started. This is how he brought it to pass. His nation of people, nation. Yeah. So it was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now Jacob's going to have 12 boys. And we're going to learn that they're going to become the 12 tribes of Israel. Because Jacob's name is going to be changed to Israel. We'll see that when we get there. All right, for verse 15. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that you have taken my husband? And wouldest you take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes. So she I don't want to say pimping, but apparently what was happening, Jacob was sleeping with Rachel all the time, or spending his time with Rachel. And so she got these mandrakes from her. They bartered. let him. Mm-hmm. So a mandrake is a type of aphrodisiac. They call it a love apple. But I don't know exactly what that is. It's a fruit. So I don't think it was a demon or nothing like that. It don't really make sense with the context of the story. We had verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, You must come in unto me, for surely I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. Just see how the story goes, she purchased him for the night for some mandrakes. Anyway, verse 17, And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. So notice Leah's having a bunch of children because to kind of balance it out, because remember Jacob he loved Rachel. And I think, did it say he hated Leah? It said Leah was hated. Yeah, verse 31 in chapter 29, verse 31, it said, and when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. All right, so let's go back. He's a sixth son. We had verse 20. It said Genesis chapter 30, verse 20. And Leah said, God hath endued me with a good dowry. See that word dowry? Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. That's why I said, he was living with Rachel. He was dwelling with Rachel. That's who he loved from the gate. I'm sure, with time, he loved Leah as well. But Rachel is who he fell in love with when he saw her, and that's who he worked 7 years for at first. And then just how it went, he goes to sleep and thinking he gonna be making love to Rachel. He wakes up and it was Leah the whole time. So that's gonna vex a brother, right? Just let you know how it wasn't just that multiple wives couldn't work. This situation was jacked up because of how Laban handled it. He should have just, full disclosure, came clean right from the beginning. Like, look, man, I can't give away the firstborn girl before I can't give away the second-born girl before I give away the firstborn. That's not how we do in our culture. He just could have came to him up front, and it all been worked out. But anyway, verse 21, and afterwards she bare a daughter and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened unto her, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. So we can see here one definition of reproach for a woman is not being able to have children. And that's going to be important later on in the book. I just want to point that out now. Because it's going to be a time in the future where women are not going to be able to have children. The book prophesizes about that. Yeah. And I think that time is coming soon. Let me make a note here. Reproach. Alright, verse 24. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go into my own place, and to my own country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and let me go, for you knowest my service which I have done you. And Laban said unto him, I pray you, if I have found favor in your eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for your sake. And everywhere our people have been over the years, the Most High has blessed those around us. Even in our captivity here, these people been eating off us, getting rich, and we've been getting punished. There's been a pattern. Wherever we are, people tend to be blessed, even as we've been cursed. We work for them, create these music, play these games, play these basketball, football games. And it seems like a lot of time after they finish with their career, they broke. But the people that they worked around were made rich off our people. Verse 25. No, we down here at verse 28. And he said, appoint me your wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, you know as how I have served you, and how your cattle was with me, and it was little which you had before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed you since my coming. Now, when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, what shall I give you? And Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep your flock. I will pass through all the flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before your face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to your word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the roots. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering throes, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and men servants, and camels, and asses.